All right, welcome to today's explainer. We are jumping right into the life of the ultimate polymath, Aristotle. This guy was a philosopher, a scientist, a teacher. His ideas literally shaped Western thought for nearly 2,000 years. So let's just dive right into his monumental life's work.
Now, this whole journey actually starts with a pretty massive disagreement. See, Aristotle's famous teacher Plato believed that true reality existed up in this abstract world of perfect forms. But Aristotle, he argued the exact opposite. He said, no, reality is found right here, in the physical world, and we understand it by directly observing nature.
Let's trace his steps really quick. Born in 384 BCE, he grew up completely steeped in science. By 343 BCE, he's actually tutoring a young Alexander the Great. Talk about a high-profile gig. Later, he heads back to Athens and founds his own school, the Lyceum. He famously gave lectures while just walking around the grounds, which actually earned his students the nickname the Peripatetics, or the Walkers.
But how did he actually figure all this stuff out? Well, his absolute game changer of a contribution was how he taught people to learn. It was a 5-step process. Observe carefully, collect the facts, compare your evidence, find the patterns, and then, and only then, draw logical conclusions. This precise, observation-based approach, it basically became the foundation for the modern scientific method. And his output using this method was just staggering. Get this, out of the roughly 200 original works Aristotle wrote, only 31 survive today. Just 31. Yet those surviving texts somehow managed to cover almost every single field of human knowledge.
Seriously, his intellectual range was massive. He's known as the father of logic. He personally cataloged over 500 different animal species. He explored the nature of time and motion in physics. He introduced the concept of the unmoved mover in metaphysics. He even basically invented literary criticism in his writings on poetry. He created history's first truly comprehensive system of knowledge.
But it wasn't all just about the mechanics of the universe. He cared deeply about how we, as humans, should actually live. His masterpiece on ethics centers around this concept called eudaimonia. Basically, it means happiness or human flourishing. And he believed you could only achieve it by living virtuously and intentionally developing good character. So how do we actually pull that off? Well, Aristotle gave us something called the golden mean. He taught that virtue always lies perfectly balanced right between two extremes. Think about it. Courage is that sweet spot between being a total coward and being overly reckless. Generosity sits right between stinginess and wastefulness. It's just this beautifully practical, everyday guide for keeping our extreme behaviors in check.
He also completely decoded human influence through rhetoric. He figured out 3 main modes of persuasion: ethos, which is your credibility; pathos, your emotional appeal; and logos, your logic. Fast forward to today, and modern commercials, courtroom arguments, and political speeches still rely entirely on these exact same concepts.
Now, despite all this brilliance, his final years got pretty tense. After Alexander the Great died, anti-Macedonian sentiment totally surged in Athens. Aristotle was suddenly accused of impiety, so he packed up and fled, famously declaring, "I will not allow Athens to sin twice against philosophy." That was a really haunting reference to the city executing Socrates years earlier. He passed away in exile in 322 BCE, but his legacy? Completely unstoppable. His works were meticulously preserved and expanded upon by brilliant Islamic scholars, guys like Al-Farabi and Ibn Sina. Eventually, those texts made their way back to medieval Europe, where they literally became the absolute bedrock of global university education.
Aristotle's logic didn't just explain the ancient world. It gave us the tools to build our modern one. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself, how can you apply his principle of the golden mean to find a little more balance in your own life today? Where do your personal extremes maybe need some adjusting? Think about that and keep exploring.